In this section of the DVD, we've got Gemma Johnson, black belt, third dan cookie one, demonstrating how to do your belt up correctly. Incidentally, whether you're a white belt or a dan grade, the belt is done up the same. You notice she's adjusting for the length of the belt that she wants it to be at the front, feeds the rest around her back. You soon get the hang of doing this. Crosses over the front of the part already there and around for a second time in this instance. Passes over to the front. As you can see there, she tucks this bit under both loops of the belt, down again at the front. And she adjusts at this point the length and how tight she wants it, carefully not over-tightening it so she can't breathe. It's also worth remembering that some sport fighters, for example, would only do the belt up once. It's personal preference. She then loops the belt up through the hole that's left and tightens with both hands. Pulls it down to make sure it doesn't point upwards, thus flicking in her face while she's training. In this instance, she's done her belt up very well. Both the lengths are roughly the same size. Thank you, Gemma. In this instant, Gemma's finished and completed her task of doing her belt up correctly, showing both lengths to be the same size. Now we can just double check. We get Gemma to turn round to make sure there are knots, twists, and the belt looks as if it's only one. So it's not separated into two and not twisted at all, sticking in your back or hips or side when you're training. And to conclude, finally, Gemma must be able to breathe properly as she's training or sparring. And to this, as a good little test, you should be able to push both hands down the front of your belt and still breathe correctly. This will not inhibit your training. On the left, we have Gemma Johnson, who has presented clean, smart, tidy, organised dobok with the belt done correctly. On the right, we have an example of a new student who is incorrectly and very scruffily dressed. You can see as his belt is different lengths, his dobok's caught up. And if he turns around slowly, you can also see that his training is going to be slightly painful because his belt's twisted, thus acting like a knot sticking in the base of his spine. Incidentally, when the student turns around again, we can conclude by saying this is not the student's fault. This is the instructor's fault.